Things men will never tell women, but are very obvious. When he doesn't want to take you seriously sometimes, he'll test you just to see if you'll leave. And the test is never right to your face. It's meticulously placed in y'all having a conversation. And you'll never know when it happens because he needs to make it look like it's not a test to genuinely seem angry about something so he can avoid the full responsibility. And they do that just so they can make an exit that they don't feel guilty about. They know what they're doing, but do you really expect somebody that knows what they're doing to feel sorry about it when they did it in the first place? This is what I mean when I say the pullback for him was never a coincidence, but if he can convince you that it was, it's more convenient for him. Every interaction or thing that he never cared about will pretty much get mentioned out of the ordinary now, especially things that he didn't care about prior to being with you. And that's the gray area. He never even cared about those things without you, but that's his ammunition. The biggest dead giveaway was him mentioning it 3 months past its expiration date. In this specific case, he never really took it seriously. It just bought him some time. A man that knows it's going to end soon will let everything slide. And to keep that notion alive and authentic looking, they'll either hide it or keep tabs on it to use later. And yes, that's even if he rebuttals it back by saying, I still want you too. Him wanting you does not change his lack of honesty and transparency. Because when you look back at it, you start to realize what the basis of what y'all had together was built upon. And he's not just going to get out the headspace and change because this is what he chose to identify you with. They identify different things with every woman that they talk to, even the ones that they treat like shit. What he's displaying now is an example of what's happened before and what's to come. Because within the 3, 4, 5 month span that it took for him to make an assessment about you, his mind can't not associate you with those things that he personally wouldn't approve of. He would have been gone a long time ago if he wanted longevity, so you got to ask yourself, why is he still here? And what benefits is he reaping? Since he can't delete the image of you out of his mind, all he can do is reap the benefits and slowly fall off with you. He's going to tell you, I want to make it work, but if I were to put myself in his position and I had to lie to you to get what I want, I would tell you that as well. Understand that for them specifically, the reward of sleeping with you outweighs the shame of saying, I want you as my person, even when they aren't even remotely interested. As hard as that pill is to swallow for a lot of people, I would be remiss if I were to act like it didn't exist. The men that actually desire longevity and desire you as their person rarely ever let 3 months worth of dislikes slide. When they got a sense of self and no time to waste, they either nip it or quit it. It would be completely off-brand of them to do so, let alone stick by you while it was happening. In the case of you seeing the indicator of him reviving and weaponizing old news means that he stored it in his arsenal the moment that he seen it. In his mind, he's telling himself, this may be also useful to get her back when I feel like it. If she's convinced that she's guilty the first time, the second time when I come around, the blame is going to slide off my body like butter, which means that she's going to feel more compelled to do more rekindling than I am. It's a fucking win-win for him. The crazy part is this is the other half of that we broke up but got back together story that a lot of men hear from women that they get in an uproar about. This is one of the primary scenarios they're talking about. This is their side eye that they're giving you when you say this. And why they try to correct you on what it actually meant, they either can't articulate it well or they don't have the patience to. They tell you, I'm going to let you be right because they feel like you can't handle that news if they were to actually tell you everything. They know deep down that a lot of these breaks were not mutual agreements. The man in question is supposed to make you feel like it's a mutual thing. That's the whole tactic. Because if they could already get you to blame yourself, they might actually convince you to think that you had something to do with it. If you took any percentage of blame, that's still good enough for him because in reality, he took 0. And that's how he instills that ethic inside of you to chase him more while doing less. And the more that he obtained getting what he wanted from you, the more diluted his mind became with having something from somebody he never wanted. Which is why a lot of times when they have a roster and you're in their selection, not only do you get cut, but 3 other girls behind you. And this is why he's always on the hunt and replacing the diluted, false, intimate thoughts with something new, but just as falsely intimate, but new. So in many cases, it was really just a break to you. To him, it was recuperating his desires, but for personal means. Not to mention, a good number of them already know your self-destruct button just by talking to you and seeing how you react to certain things. It's something that we couldn't even fathom talking into a mirror to ourselves because we're aware of who we're speaking to. Because it doesn't elicit the same emotion than talking to somebody and them telling you something. Your organic mannerisms in response to things is something that many people could see, but especially men that make consistent advances.